you can do an IFP and use best value. You can. In Texas, we can. It's written into our statute that you can, but we'll need to see that you have that ability to do so.
Hi, I just had a quick comment. This is Karen Gibson from Florida State University. So here in Florida, our statutes distinguished between an RFP and an invitation to negotiate, an ITN. And with ITNs, they are awarded, we have criteria, but they're not point scored. They're awarded as a consensus of the committee, and the meetings are recorded and everything. So many of the public universities have chosen to go the ITN route instead of RFP because they are more flexible, but you can further negotiate. So if we submit something that's based on an ITN and we can show how we don't point score and it's based on a consensus of the committee, et cetera, will that qualify?
Don, you want to take that one?
I don't know, because I don't know how you would be able to, if you could document it somehow, because you're not able to upload a video. I don't know how you would be able to document that one.
I mean, we could show what the criteria is, and we could show that it is awarded based on a consensus of the committee.
Karen, is the committee looking at the overall value of the submittal?
Yes, but there are criteria that they review.
Hey, Brian.
Okay.
This is Philip. I'm sorry. I'm with K-12, and we have the same type of award system with our board. Our awards are submitted for consent, and so they're not awarding the specific bid through a itemized presentation or an item on the board agenda, but the consent agenda is provided. And so the consent agenda has the bid listed there and a request for approval or award. And by them approving the consent, they're thus approving the award. And so that's how we provide the agenda that's signed off by the board, showing that in the minutes, showing that it's been approved. The consent's been approved, and then that's how we show it.
How do you document the evaluation portion though, so that we could see that you went through that part of the evaluation on the different criteria?
It's presented to the board as part of their evaluation, part of their packet that they review at the board meeting.
Yeah, I think a short answer, Karen, would be regardless of what acronyms are used, if you are evaluating criteria other than price, I mean, it's an actual evaluation and you can document that, it would be acceptable.
Okay, great.
All right, another question that came in, can entity members have multiple logins? And the answer is yes. I do want to say real quick that just a reminder, since we get this question all the time, the AEP portal login and the NPI member login are separate databases, separate logins. As a reminder, you don't have to be an AEP, or excuse me, don't have to be an NPI member to submit the AEP application. Okay, so you could have different logins for NPI membership and the AEP portal. So specifically to answer the question, you can have multiple people log into the AEP portal. Now, we've designed the system such that it uses your email URL to attach you to the right application. So for example, I'm bgarrity@goldengate.org. So my URL for my email is @goldengate.org. Anybody with an @goldengate.org email address, when they log in, they'll see the Golden Gate application. So you can have multiple people. Now, if your email address has changed and it no longer is the same as an application that you submitted last year or prior years, that URL is no longer the same. Unfortunately, we can't give you access to your prior year's applications, but the URL is the same. You can have multiple logins and everybody will be able to see the application and prior year's applications. All right, Patricia's asked, we don't have a resolution adopted for best value, but our board policy allows for the best value through RFP and other procurement methods. Will a copy of our board policy be acceptable? And the answer is yes. An adopted policy is acceptable as long as you just provide information on that policy. It doesn't necessarily have to be specific law or ordinance. Do we have to be a member to see the model submittals? Again, yes, the model submittals are specific to National Procurement Institute members. But again, $130 to sign up and you get a $200 discount on your application fee. Are there best practices for consensus scoring or decisions? I would say yes. Does MPI offer those best practices online? Well, we have access to model submittals, but not specifically best practices. I know NIGP has best practices on their website that you can gain access to, specific to RFPs and consensus scoring. So I'm just kind of scrolling through the questions here to see what else we can answer for everybody. There's some discussions amongst the participants, which is great. One person's asked if the application will be tied to the entity and not the person. That's correct. The AEP is an organization award, a department award, not an award to an individual person. So your application, regardless of who enters it, the application is for your organization. And Tara's asked, do the multiple logins have to be members of NPI? The answer is no. The AEP, again, the AEP database is different than the membership database from NPI. You do not have to be an NPI member to submit an AEP application. I will say that when you are getting ready to submit your AEP application, it will ask for a verification of NPI membership to get that discount. So when you get to that point, you need to enter the email address or the credentials, the email and password of the person that is the NPI member, person, or if you have multiple persons, you only need to enter one. But if the applicant themselves is not the NPI member, that's okay. They can just enter the credentials for the person in your organization that is an NPI member to get that discount. All right. I do want to be considerate of everybody's time. I think our presentation at this point is done. However, myself and the evaluation team can stick around and answer other questions. Again, the questions can cover basically any topic now on the AEP platform. I will recommend to you that you sign up for the educational sessions, the 3 remaining, if you haven't already. We'll go through and cover some more criteria, and then the last one we'll just answer some final questions about the actual submission process. So if you haven't done so, go on to npiconnection.org, sign up for the remaining educational sessions. Again, big thanks to our partners, Negometrics, and our presenting partner, NPP Gov, for allowing us to provide this educational sessions to you for free today. And if there are more questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We'll stick around. And if not, thanks for attending today, and we'll see you next time.
Just an FYI, it looks like the chat was disabled, so you might not get any more questions through the chat room, but.
Chat was disabled. Like we could disable chat.
It just allowed me. Can everyone see that?
Yeah,
I
it says
can
it's
log-
disabled, says it's disabled for me too.
Oh, maybe just the presenters.
It looks like it's up now.
Right, doesn't look like we're getting any more questions in. So thank you to everybody who's still on the call, and join us next time.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks, everybody.
Take care all.